There we go. So welcome everybody. Settle yourself down on the ground and making sure that you feel comfortable. So Rachel might want to bend your legs so your feet, that's it. So tilting your pelvis, feet flat on the floor, there you go. So just take a moment just to kind of settle yourself down into the space. Make sure you are comfortable so you can rest for a while, rest at ease. Just let your skeletal system just sink down into the ground beneath you. Does your back feel comfortable? And you're aiming to kind of feel that, what I call the capital I shape. So your pelvis feels level, shoulders feel level and supported by the ground beneath it, and the spine in a roughly straight line going between the two. So the base of the capital I, the pelvis, top of the capital I, shoulder girdle, and then spine running down. Then let's start to just slowly move the head from side to side. So just let it feel extremely heavy, like you're about to fall asleep. And you just let it roll and flop over one way. And then roll back to the center as you breathe in. Exhale over. Inhale back to center. Really heavy, just lolls over one way. Inhale back to center. Bringing your head back to center. Then we'll move to the shoulders. So make sure you've got the space above you so you can raise your arms. You're going to hook your thumb and index finger into the crease of your elbows. So tuck in. Start with your forearms down on your abdomen. So you're sliding your elbows down towards your hips. That's it. Pull away. So you feel your shoulder blades locking in, sliding down the back. And then breathing in, draw your forearms up and over your head. Breathing out, bring your forearms back down towards your hips. Breathing in, lift up, stretch up and away. Notice the shape of your back changing as you reach up and the rib cage lifts. Exhale, drawing down. So the reason why we have the arms locked in this position is it's a good position for your shoulder joints. So you're staying in that capital I position with the shoulders staying level. Up on the inhale, down on the exhale. So just two more. And then finish with your arms up and over your head. Here you have a choice, either just to rest your forearms on your forehead, to have the arms all the way over, or to straighten your arms and reach up. But try and keep your elbows in the same position so they're straight out of the shoulder joint. And then from here, we're going to slide the legs out, extend out through the toes. So you come into a lengthening of the out through the waist, out through the knee joints, hips, knees, and out through the ankles, and either straight up through your fingers or holding the elbows still and extending out through the elbows. Pull up your toes, so you're pulling, so you're pushing out through your heels, flexing. And make a tight fist with your hands. So you're pressing out through the knuckles, push out through the heels. Breathe from the heels all the way up to the knuckles, stretch. Feel that active action in the back of the legs. And then back to opening the palms, point the fingers, and take a big breath in. Okay, so tuck in the right leg. So if you just slide it along the floor, draw the knee in, and then float your arms down and hold around the back of your thigh, squeezing in. Head stays on the ground, elbows pulling down towards your hips, knee squeezes in. Just feeling that stretch through your glutes, through your lower back. And whilst we're squeezing and holding the leg in, just wake up the ankle joint. So roll around, nice and slowly. Roll, roll. That's it. Around you go. Change direction. And then go back to a flex foot and drive your heel up towards the ceiling. So if you have a belt to hand, you could put the belt around the ball of your foot. Otherwise, I just hold the back of my thigh, press the heel up, push away. Try and keep your legs straight. So leg straight. That's good, Nick. You've got a belt, Heather. Oh, you got one there. So as you inhale, you are driving your heel up towards the ceiling, keeping the leg straight. On your exhale, you see if you can draw the leg a little closer towards you. Breathing in, extend the leg up. And then breathing out. Exhale, draw the leg a little closer towards you. Improvising for you. There you go. So try and keep it straight. We'll bring it further away. So hold it lower down. There you go. Now with your left leg, you're going to slide the foot up and place it on the floor behind the left hip. Keep pressing up through the right heel, but you're dropping the leg out to the side. If you haven't got a belt, you could just catch the leg with your right hand. Your left knee drops over to the left. So you're opening through the inner thighs. So right leg to the right, left knee drops over to the left. Try and keep the leg straight. Pressing out through the heel. Good. And then breathing in, come all the way up. Up with the left knee, extend out through the right heel, let go of the belt, and then cross this right leg over your left. Okay, so just if you watch me first of all, so you're just going to have your left hand onto your right knee. I'm just going to rock the knees side to side. So just gently nudge, 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 just to rock into the back of the pelvis. Press, press, press. With your right arm, have it extending out to the right side with the palm facing up. That's it. And then you could drop the knee all the way over to your left side if it feels okay, and then you could hold it there. You could still go a little further over and do that nudging, pressing, pressing, pressing. Lovely. Okay, breathing in, come all the way back up. Last thing for this right leg is you're going to now, from this cross leg position, you're going to bring your right ankle onto the left side, just beneath the left knee. So you're creating this triangle shape with the leg. You're going to press your right knee away from the face, and you can either keep your left foot on the floor, or if you want to, you could pick up the left thigh whilst pressing your right knee away. So it's left thigh in, right knee away, or left foot on the floor, right knee presses away. And just do it facing the camera so you can see. Pushing away and drawing in. Pressing away with the right leg, drawing in with the left. So you should be feeling the stretch for the outside of the right leg. Okay, then release and bring both knees into your chest. Ease out to the hip. And then we'll go with the other side. So from here, keep a hold of the left leg, extend the right leg out. Head on the ground, pull your elbows down towards your hips, chin tucks in, and squeeze in. So waking up the hip flexors on this left side. As you squeeze the leg in, roll your ankle joint, round you go. Change direction. Now find your belt if you're using one, and you're extending your left leg up towards the ceiling. Try and get the leg straight. So if you look at me, you can see my legs are always at a right angle, and I'm able to get my legs straight. So if you're not aiming to always get to that position, but you're aiming to get the leg straight. So if you're bent when you're there, then if you extend it away from the face and then push through the heel, get it straight. And then from that position, you draw the leg in. Breathing in, lengthen up to the heel, breathing out, draw the leg in. Very good. Breathing in, lengthen. Breathing out, drawing in. Neck, if you just hold the belt further down, find that straight position. There, good. Okay, so from here, we're going to hold the belt in just the left hand, or using your left arm to catch the left leg. Bring up the right leg, foot on the floor, drop the right knee out to the side, left leg opens out to the left. A good space. Good, keep it straight. Don't let the leg bend. Right knee drops down, left leg over. And then coming up, crossing the legs over. So you get rid of the belt, looping, left leg over the top of the right. So the first one is left arm drapes out to the side. You've got legs crossed as if you're sitting on a chair, right over. Get the leg right over there, Heather. That's it. Right hand onto the left knee, and then start with that rocking action. So you just push, release, push, release, push, release. And you can stay with that with the legs high, or you then go further down over to the right side if it feels okay. Knees to the right, head to the left. Relax the left shoulder down. Maybe look over the left shoulder. And then you're using your right hands just to apply a little bit of pressure to stretch through the outside of the left leg. Coming all the way back up. Last thing for the hips is the ankle on the left ankle onto the right side, pressing the knee away. So I put my left hand onto the inside of my left leg, press away to find that stretch through the outside of the left leg. So pushing away, or drawing the right side in whilst pressing away if you have that space in the hips to be able to do that. Push left away from the face and draw right towards you. That's it. And then release and bring both knees into your chest and squeeze. Bring your head up to your knees, curl up into a little ball. And then lower your head back down. Place your hands into your waist, elbows out to the side. So you keep your feet off the ground, sit feet off the ground, knees tuck in. Pull up on your abdominal muscles, and you might be able to feel underneath your fingertips, might be able to feel the abs working. With your thumbs, you try and have them wrap around the waist, so your thumbs are down towards the mats, around the back of the waist. And you are going to make sure you keep the small of your back pressing into the mat. So we're all going to be moving probably at different depths from side to side. So you're pulling up on your pelvic floor, drawing your abs in, lock the legs together. As you breathe out, drop your knees over to the left. And as you breathe in, pull the knees back to the center. So keep your feet off the ground, keep your knees tucking into your chest. And as you go from side to side, keep the knees and inner thighs locked together. Don't think you've got to touch the floor, just go over as far as you can in control. So exhale over. Inhale, pull back to center. So with your hands on your waist and your elbows out to the side, can you feel this ringing action in the waist and the lower back? Shoulders staying in place, hips moving from one side to the other. And as you get used to the movement, maybe you can go further over with the knees, but do not let them part. Keep them glued together, ankles glued together, point the toes. Breathing in, coming up. Breathing out, knees over. Keep them locked together, stabilizing the pelvis. So last round, finish on the right side. And then release, put your feet on the floor, give your hips a break, and just flop your knees from side to side. No control, just flop, flop, flop. You're doing really well. So next exercise is working the obliques, and we do this one at a time. So I haven't done this with you for a few weeks, but I'm sure you remember when we get going. Just try and turn side on so you can all see. So you're going to bring up your left thigh and place your right hand onto your left thigh. And as you breathe out, you push your hand and your thigh together. So they don't actually move, but that strong pressure tilts the pelvis and helps engage the obliques. Breathe in, relax. Breathe out, push, pulling up on the pelvic floor, draw the abs in. You're going to do that 8 times on one side, 8 times on the other. So your right hand is on the front of the left thigh and push, like you're trying to press your leg to the other side of the room, but your thigh pushes in towards your hands and they lock in place. Push, exhale, inhale, release. Exhale, push, pressing the 2 together. Inhale, release. Watch me. And here at the front. So you push your hand into your leg, press your leg into your hand, so don't move. As it push, squeeze, abs engaged. Inhale, relax. Exhale, push. Eye to hand. Look at me. Your leg's not moving. Press. That's it. So when you've done 8 on that side, you can use your hand just to give the thigh a little rub down and then swap over. Left hand on the right thigh. So breathing in, relax, breathing out, push the 2 together. So you're trying to bring the knee to your nose and using a hand to press the thigh away at the same time. Push. Do 8 if you can. So actually these obliques are really important to stabilize the hips. So if you have any, especially outer hip problems, SI problems, it helps draw and stabilize them and activate them so your hips don't overcompensate. Those muscles not engaging properly. It's when you've done 8, come into a full body stretch. Lengthen out through the toes, reach out through your fingertips to stretch out those core muscles. Good, and from where you are, just roll yourself over onto your front with some back bend work. So down on your front. Legs roughly together. Point your toes and plant the tops of your feet onto the floor, onto the mat. So push them down, extend out through the toes. Tuck your tailbone under, push your pubic bone down into the ground, roll your shoulders back, then lift your head. Then tuck your elbows underneath your shoulders, roll your shoulders back, keep tucking the tailbone under, lengthen up through the top of the head, pushing your toes onto the ground, press down, press down. Heart opens and breathe here, Sphinx pose. Sit strong legs, press the feet down. Lift a little higher, lengthen through the top of the head. And then exhale, release, pull yourself forwards and down, press your elbows out, forehead down, and then flop your heels out, tuck your toes in. So you take that pressure out of the legs and just do a little bit of wobbling of the hips from side to side to release the lower back, or you could raise your heels and flop, flop, flop heels from side to side, just to ease out the back and swing your legs in a circle. Okay, and again, so legs down. Plant the tops of your feet firmly into the mat or the ground, tuck your tailbone under, roll your shoulders back, lift the head, bring the elbows underneath your shoulders, roll your shoulders back and down. Tailbone tucks under, push the pubic bone down into the mat, keep the feet active, so pressing them down, strong legs, good, Heather, lovely. Lift up through the top of the head. So you feel that you're pulling your weight out of your lower back. Keep stretching away. Lift up. And exhale. Lower all the way down. Lengthen, lengthen. Relax the bottom. Wiggle the hips from side to side. So some of you may want to come up a little higher. So you're bringing the elbows closer towards your hips, or you could put your hands underneath the shoulders so your elbows lift a little. So spread the fingers, plant the tops of your feet into the mat, tuck the tailbone under, push the pubic bone down, roll the shoulders back and lift. Either tucking the elbows under or press through the hands, open the heart, cobra. Fantastic, good. The elbows down, heart open. Lift up through the top of the head. Strong legs, plant the tops of the feet down. Good. And exhale, lower down. From here, bring yourself up onto all fours. So push through your hands, come up onto all fours. Hands underneath the shoulders. Tailbone tucks under, abs engaged. And you're just going to rock backwards and forwards. So you're nudging your hips back a few inches, stretching the lower back, lean into the hands, and then nudge the crown of the head forwards. So you're keeping your back flat, nudging back, rocking forwards. Rachel, just watch me. So you try and, if you draw up through here, nudge back, rock forwards instead of doing that. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So you can feel that stretch through the lower back as you rock backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. And then coming all the way back, bottom back towards your heels, or as far as is comfortable. Stretch your fingers forwards for swan stretch. So weight of your hips, send it back, forehead down, fingers forwards. Breathing out, sink your weight down. Breathing in, lengthen through the fingertips. Breathing out, sink your weight back and down to the heels. Breathing in, stretching to your fingertips. Okay, rock yourself back forwards, come back down onto the ground. So as you come down, keep all that length. So you don't just kind of drop down, but pull yourself forwards and down from the chest, from the nose, lengthen forwards, then come down. The next pose is called a Shalabhasana, the locust pose. So you're going to bring your arms down by your side, palms down. That's it. And point your fingers towards your toes. Switch your arms around so your palms up. That's it. Tom, arms down by your side, that way. There you go. Forehead down. So in locust pose, we lift the arms, the head, and the legs at the same time. Squeeze the legs together, plant the feet down as before, tuck the tailbone under, press the hands down, forehead down, breathe out. As you breathe in, lift everything up, extend out through the toes, the fingers, crown of the head forwards. See if you can get your thighs off the ground. Great. Lengthen, so you're going forwards with the head, back through the toes, back through the fingertips. Then see if you can lift a little higher. And exhale, relax down. Really good, all of you, well done. Soften, soften, soften. And again, take a breath in. Breathe out, press down, anchor yourself down through all those points. And then inhale, lift up, everything lifts at the same time. Extend back through the toes, through the fingers, crown of the head forwards. Locust pose, Shalabhasana. Can you lift a little higher, maintaining that length? Looking good. Remember to breathe. And exhale, lower down, completely relax, let go. Just remember the easing of the hips, jiggle them from side to side. We're going to do one more. And if you feel that you've had enough already, then just leave it out. Okay, breathing out, press down. Inhale, up you can. Extend out through the toes, fingers, crown of the head forwards. Feel like you're flying. With that length maintained, can you lift a little higher? So head forwards, fingers back, toes back. Well done. Exhale, release down. Pop your hands underneath your shoulders. Come back onto that all fours position. So you're looking straight down. Draw your abdominal muscles up and you're just going to nudge back a little bit. Feel that gorgeous stretch through the lower back. Then lean into the hands and press the forehead. Crown of the head, forehead forwards. Back a little, stretch the lower back. Head forwards a little. So just nudging back a little further, perhaps each time, if that feels okay for your back. Press back, press forwards. Nudge back, press forward, keeping your back flat. And then maybe eventually it feels good to come all the way back, hips back, fingers forwards. And then we're going to find our way to standing. So you come up however is easy for you, or you come up with me. So you have your feet and knees wide, toes tuck under, walk your hands back to your knees, roll over your toes, drop down into the squat. And then slowly come up to standing. So now we move to a bit of wall space. And we're going to be leaning against the wall. You're right against that door. Perfect. I'm going to do this. Okay, take these committee off the wall. Amazing. Heather, you could come against this door as well. You need your bag. Sorry, Zoom people. It's quite a small room. We've got lots of pictures on the walls. So we're going to be leaning against the wall. I'll go that way. Sorry? Just checking that they do open outwards, otherwise I might fall through the wall. You're safe. Right. So feet, the foot position. Feet are hip width apart and you are walking your heels a couple of feet away from the wall space. Okay. Maybe a bit further forwards, Rachel. And you, Heather. And again and again and again. That's it. Tom, hip width apart and bring your feet further towards me. Okay, hands onto your hips. Slide a little way down the wall with your knees following the direction of your toes. And then tuck your tailbone under, abs engaged, so you're pushing the small of your back into the mat. It's a very good camera angle, Nikki and Pat, you can see you perfectly. So you're drawing up and in. Remember the capital I shape we had on the when we were lying on the floor, you're finding that again. So with your hands on your hips, you should roughly feel that the pelvis is level, the spine roughly straight, and then you're pressing the shoulder blades back towards the wall. And then if your knees are happy and it's okay for your quads, you see if you can go down a little bit further, slide down. Maintain your abdominal strength, pulling up on the pelvic floor to press the small of your back into the mat. So Nick, just watch see how your toes are turning out a little bit. That's it. You can bring your feet closer. Come a little bit further, you can get lower down. Down you go, down you go. Good, and then pressing through your heels, come all the way back up. Okay, we're going to repeat this a few times. So pace yourself. You can always just sort of rest, not go as far, and you can do this little squidging, easing out your quads. Okay, so maybe you want to bring your feet further away from the skirting board or your wall or whatever you're using. Hands onto the hips. Send your knees forwards, watching that they follow the line of the toes, tailbone tucked under, sitting down, abs engaged. And then if it feels okay, you're going to raise your arms, stand up, the tailbone tucked under, abs engaged, hold. And breathe. Lengthen, reach up, fingers trying to touch the ceiling, reach away, perfect. Keep abs engaged, pushing the back of the head, the shoulders, the hips back into the wall. And then bring your hands down, press through your heels and slowly slide yourself back up the wall and give your legs a little rub, squidge, take a breather. Third time, last time. Okay, so head back, shoulders back, hips back, down you go. If you're getting tired, just go a little way. Abs engaged, you're still doing this, you've got this action here, that's the important thing. So we have the added benefit of strengthening the legs, but we're using this to engage the core, shoulders back, hips back, maybe go lower, maybe raise the arms. Stretch your fingers away. Have your palms that way. That's it. Sit palms together, reach up, straight arms. Lovely. So we're going to stay for a little longer, and you're going to sit with that feeling of, I need to move, I need to get out of this. Oh, I'm getting hotter. This is called fierce pose. Utkatasana means fierce pose. And let those sensations of strength and heat and panic, like you want to go, you want to straighten, you want to straighten, you want to straighten, just sit with it. Sit with it. And then release and come all the way up and close your eyes and just lean into the wall behind you and just go, oh. Feel that amazing release and relaxation after all that strength work. Oh. Well done. Okay, come away from the wall. Give your legs a kick and a shake. All with me still? Okay, so same pose, but in the middle of the mat. So hips, feet hip width apart, toes facing forwards. Bring your arms up, shoulder height. Pull the arms back into the sockets. Abs engaged. And then lower down, knees forwards, tailbone tucks under. So you're imagining that the wall is still there behind you. So you're trying to get yourself nice and active here in the core muscles. So arms are just straight out in front. Pull the shoulders back. Drawing up and in, pelvic floor, abs engaged. Press through your heels, inhale, arms up. Exhale, release down. And again, just check your foot position. Yeah, but that's a different, slightly different angle, isn't it? Okay, so you'll feel it again now. So we're going to come up, pull the shoulders back, bend your knees. And then if you want to add on a bit of balance, you lift your heels. So it takes the calves out of the equation again, yeah? So from there, you can then maybe lower down if your knees feel happy. So heels are up. That's good, Heather. Abs engaged. Remember, you're trying to kind of push against that imaginary wall behind you. Sinking down. And then heels down, straighten the legs. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float down. Roll the shoulders, shake the arms out, shake the legs out. Take a sigh. Marvelous. Okay, so step your feet out so you are ready for Trikonasana. Legs wide, hands onto your hips. So you might want to practice Trikonasana with your toes facing forwards, especially if you know you have a hip issue. Just a simple rolling out of the foot like that can pinch into the SI joints. It might be better for you not to turn your toes all the way out, keep them facing forwards, or just go sort of halfway. So we're turning the toes to the right. So it's right foot's rolling out, and then face your shoulders and your hips facing the long edge of your mat. And if that just feels uncomfortable on the hip, that's when you dial this foot back just a little bit, or all the way. Hands to your heart. Inhale, open your arms. Exhale, over into Trikonasana. Right hand down, left hand up. So remember when we were using the wall and we're pushing the heel into the wall, imagine it's there again. So you're rooting down through that left leg, left heel, lengthening up through the top of the head, and arms expand in both directions. If you troubled with the shoulders, with the arms extended out, you just keep your hand on your hip, but keep this nice line at the shoulder open. Good. Keep the strength in the legs, you pull up through your quads. Maybe you can slide a little further down, enjoying this stretch through your side. And then gaze down, soften the front knee. Inhale, come all the way up to the other side. So you just swivel your toes round to the left and see how it feels for the hip on this side. So you get your hips and shoulders level with the long edge of the mat. Toes have turned around. If it feels uncomfortable, you just dial back that left foot a little bit. Hands to your heart. Inhale, open. Exhale, left hand down towards the left leg. Watch you don't drop this hip down, the right hip down, you keep it open. Tailbone tucks under, find the strength in the legs. Slide the hands down, right hand out, or hands on your hip. Lovely. And soften the front knee, push through the foot. Come on up, take a big breath in, open. Exhale, hands return to your heart. Go a little bit wider with your feet. Same thing, we're turning the toes over to the right. But again, dial it back if it's uncomfortable for the hip. Hip square, shoulder square with the long edge of the mat. Coming into warrior two. So little bend of the front knee. Find your capital I shape. So can you see my shoulders are level with the hips, the spine straight in between. So even if I'm all the way over here, I don't want to be leaning in, you pull yourself back. So little bend, arms open, right knee bent. Arches lifting up in the right foot. So it's leaning back slightly with the right leg. So don't drop and flatten the arch in the right foot. And try and keep the spine nice and straight, no leaning forwards. And if it's uncomfortable for the shoulders, work at the legs only, hands on your hips, shoulders soft. And then maybe you can sink a little lower, keeping the pressure in your back foot. Good. Drawing up through the spine, pelvic floor, abs engaged to hold and support you. Squeeze your glutes, feel the strength in your legs. And then bring your hands back to your heart, straighten the right leg, turn your toes the other way around. So you go back to the front. How does it feel to dial that left foot out, pressing the right hip, right heel away? Then hips and shoulders square. Bend your front knee, a little dip, Further, 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 and then open your arms. Shoulders soft. So you're leaning this left foot, left knee rather back to open up the arch of the left foot. Press down through the right heel. Spine stays straight, or hands on the hips, lower down. Sit. So tucking your tailbone under, abs engaged. Rooting down through the back foot, arches lift. And your gaze is over your left hand. Straighten the leg, take a big breath in. Bring the feet back to face the front. Legs stay wide apart. Interlace your hands behind your back. Roll the shoulders back and down. And then pull your knuckles down towards the floor. You're squeezing the shoulder blades together. Maybe bringing the hands up and away. And then how does it feel to tip forwards? This might not suit all of you. So you can stay upright. It's fine to stay upright. Strong legs, pull the knuckles down, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Or you might be able to come forwards, bow the head forwards, and the hands keep pulling away from your hips as you go through forwards. Keep your legs straight if you can, neck straighten your out. Very good, amazing. Keep the shoulder blades squeezing together. Nice, Heather. Very good. Release the hands back down to your hips. And then come all the way back up. Okay, step your feet in. So with all that pressure like so, legs out, you can feel it on the outside of the ankles. So you could just do some little walking on the spots, pressing the heels forwards, or you could roll the ankles. And then we're going to have a go at a balance. So get yourself next to a wall space if you need it. The dancer pose. So dancer is the one where we bring the leg up behind you. If you can't reach your foot, you could always use your yoga belt or whatever you've got to tuck the foot in. So you like so, just lengthen your arm if you want it. I think you'll be all right then, Rachel. Okay, so maybe holding onto the wall with one hand, and then you're leaning into the leg that's closest to the wall space, lifting the other leg behind you, catch hold of your ankle, not your foot, if you can, further down the ankle joint so that you can flex your foot. Okay, try and get your thighs roughly together, knees together. And then just carefully encourage your heel up towards your bottom. And then with your hands on the wall, you can walk it up the wall, or you could free the hands and stretch up towards the ceiling. Pressing your hips forwards, drawing your heel towards your bottom, thighs together, knees together. Good. A little closer together with your thighs. That's it. Pull the knee back. Press the hips forwards. And then this arm. Heather, look at me. Arm up. There you go. Good bang. Sounded worse than it was. Okay, let's have a go at the other side. So release. Ease out your standing leg, shake out the leg, roll the ankles. Switch around other side if you're using a wall. So just take a moment to kind of get your balance. Catch hold of the other leg, holding the ankle, flexing the foot. Bringing your thighs together, knees together, or going in that direction. So keep your hand on the wall for balance. You can just walk your hand up or reach up and away. Press the hips forwards, thighs together, knees together. Very good, down you come. Okay, so just shake out the leg. We're going to do it once more. And this time you're going to do it facing the wall. So if you just watch me quickly, so you're going to pick up the foot, lift, and then we're going to tip forwards. So you can reach your fingertips to the wall and then keep the thighs roughly together and then maybe raise the leg, or you can go without the wall if you're feeling brave. See how you feel. Okay, so I'm halfway at my mat length, or maybe a bit more away from the skirting board. Really into a standing leg. Pick up the other, hold the ankle. Which, it doesn't matter, you'll be doing the other side next time. If you don't have to fold forwards, but if you want to have a go, you're drawing the arm up, lengthen, and then bring your chest forwards. Keep lengthening through the fingers, so you keep that length in the lower back, and then your fingers will eventually find the wall or door, whatever you're reaching onto. And then you're lifting your heel away from the ground. Pull it up away from the hip. Keep your other foot down. Pump that heel down. And then you're lifting up with your back leg. Have another go. You could always try hands on the wall. Find your foot. It is slightly cheating, but hey. And then push yourself into the pose. And then when you have balance over time, you can then bring the hands away. No, not today. Okay, let's have a go at the other side. Your quad, yeah. Yeah, because you have to really balance. All right, so other leg when you're ready. Pressing into the standing leg. Pick up. Hold the ankle, thighs together. Reach the arm up. So remember, you don't have to do the folding forwards bit, but it's fun to try these things, I think. You can stay upright or start to tip forwards. Pulling the heel up of the lifted leg, pressing the heel down of the standing leg. Yeah. Well done. Come on out. Good try, everybody. Well done at home. Is you at home? Ease legs. Let's get down to the floor. On your way down, gather in your warmer things. Time flies when you're having fun. I can't believe how quickly this time goes. So come on down to the ground. Use blocks, supports, cushions, pillows, whatever you've got at home. And get yourself down on the ground, and we're going to do some alternate nostril breathing lying down. I don't think we did this last week. I ran out of time. So if you just keep one hand free, your right hand, free, and you're placing your index and middle finger onto your forehead, and you're using your thumb and the ring finger to close off the nostrils one at a time. So this particular style of alternate nostril breathing is called Surya Vada. So we're closing left, breathing in through the right nostril, closing your right nostril, release left, breathe out left. That's one round. Close left, breathe in right. Close right, breathe out left. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhaling right. Exhale left. Inhale right. Exhale left. Keep going. Inhale right. Exhale left. Just a few more. Slow down your breathing. Slow it right down. Calm, continuous flow of breath. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slow exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slow it right down. Last one. Finishing with an exhale out of the left nostril, and then let the hands just rest by your side, or you can tuck it under your blanket or in your pocket. Keep the hands warm. And just rest for a while. After all that movement, the stillness, pushing, pressing, holding, now nothing. Just let go. And just notice how you feel. You're allowing the sensations of the practice to wash over you. Relax into the stillness. Let go, let go, let go. And when you're ready, start to deepen your breathing. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And if you're at home and you want to stay lying for longer, please do. Come up to sitting when you're ready. And bring your hands to your heart. And take a breath and sweep your arms up and away. And exhale. Hands to your heart and just bow your forehead to your fingertips. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, perfect peace. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. Good to see you all. You guys on Zoom. I'm going to stop this recording.